third week of the IRONMAN Tulsa training block, and November 11th, and we're already dealing with some snow and winter mix here in Kansas City. And it's a little early for this, and I think it's gonna get down to 9 degrees today. So I'm looking forward to the winter. Thank goodness for indoor trainers and treadmills and indoor pools, because it wouldn't happen otherwise. See you later. So I figured this is the perfect weather to be sitting down talking about my goals for IRONMAN Tulsa. But right now I gotta know where I'm at. Got cold and snow. My plans. And it's just perfect weather in Kansas City. Perfect. Winter is fired up, and we gotta be on top of our game to make this all the indoor training to our benefit, because there ain't much gonna happen outdoors. Benefits of snow on November 12th, Kansas City, and 9 degrees in the morning is the pool feels nice and warm in the morning. It's not bad, but not so much benefit is hanging your clothes to dry in the back of your car and driving around all day, and it doesn't get above freezing and they don't dry out. So it's first world problems, but still, there's benefits, there's pluses, and there's minuses. Got to take breaks in the training every now and again to celebrate the milestones. Be 12 years married to my wife this Thursday. So do you go with a card? It's a little bit sweet. It's like, oh, that's nice. A little bit more to your personality, Yeah. Decisions are tough. Or do you go with both? Kind of do one before and after. It's decisions. We'll figure it out. Through into the beautiful community center, working out. Man, that swim. Did a extreme, well, I wouldn't call it extreme, but a high power Zwift Tri Academy workout today on the bike this morning for about an hour and 15. Did the kid thing, breakfast thing, dropped everybody off, grabbed my quick swim. Man, my inner thigh, shades of Ironman Texas 2014. That sucker just locks up like right here. I was bent over in the pool, had to take a break for about 10 minutes. I don't know if I get it done, man. Did some sprint sets. Luckily, I had the pull buoy put on my legs, so I didn't have to worry about kicking anymore, but that was very uncomfortable. So, Mr. Inner Thigh, let's cooperate the rest of the day, because it still feels a little twingy. So, we'll see what happens. Hey, Ryan here. Thought I'd actually kind of go over, I haven't done in the past, is really look at all my races in the past. I wanted to get a good picture of where I was at and where I'm going to go with IRONMAN Tulsa. I've always been good at signing up for a race, have a goal, and then kind of fail to do some retroactive introspection, see where maybe I kind of went off path. It's always entertaining to watch. I don't know, saying there's little videos and all the hindsight's 2020. I thought it was interesting. Lake Tahoe is my first one. That was looks like the second fastest marathon time under 5 hours. It was my first Ironman, but 8,500 feet of climbing on the bike kind of killed everything. Hour and 22 in that lake. I had a full sleeve suit. It was oversized. Had dragon water, but I consider that a win. The water was freezing, Mr. Bigglesworth. Texas followed that up with DNF on mile 14. It was a little bit mild in the 80s. It wasn't really hot. It was wetsuit legal on the swim. Ironman Chattanooga 2014 by far was my best 11:48 full Ironman time. Had some good help from the SS's for swim skin or speed suit. I think there's a strong current that year. 116 miles, so 6 hours for 160 miles is pretty good. I did hit cramps at mile 14, but kind of learned my lesson from the DNF at Texas. At mile 14, I got cramps. Decided to keep trying to walk through it, and then stopped, get a rock out of my shoe, and that was all she wrote. Just cramped up on the sidewalk, heaped up in a ball. Couldn't move for about half an hour. Finally, they carted me off to the med tent for IVs, and after that, I was just severely dehydrated, and I was good to go, unfortunately. So I learned my lesson. Chattanooga, mile 14, stopped, walked, stretched, didn't run myself into the ground, and still had my fastest, and that's a tough course.
had my fastest marathon time in a full Ironman race. So it's always interesting because it's very cool. I personally don't work well in the heat, unfortunately. So this was a perfect race. It rained on the run a little bit, cooled it off. I was still I was suffering, but I was able to make it happen, especially with cramps. I even had to walk for a little bit and still had my fastest marathon time. Followed up 2015 Ironman Boulder. The swim, it was warm because it was in August that year, but I made a mistake of doing a little bit of self-artistry work. So that kind of hampered my swim because you're not supposed to swim 3 weeks after, and this took several sittings. So that was kind of my own mistake on the timing of doing something like that. So I did it before the race, and I think my swim time kind of suffered. It was I went with a speed suit. The bike, that was my fastest bike time. I don't feel like I really went out and tried to kill it or anything. It was I think a little bit of a fast course. Got to the run and having cramps. It was interesting. Going to these little bridges on the downhills, I'd cramp up on the inner thighs and hamstrings and everything, the legs. So I had to walk the downhills, but then I could jog the rest in the uphills. So I didn't suffer too much on the run. I wouldn't say I suffered from dehydration per se. It was just kind of exercise-induced muscle cramps. Didn't really, I don't think, got the bike miles in to sustain myself on the run. But a decent time, and a lot of changes going on personally in my career and everything. I think that was a good indicator of what I could do with the training time I had at the time. 2017 Ironman Florida, took a break. Third kid was born 2016. So 17 we hit Ironman Florida, wetsuit swim. So, and it was in open water. So that, if you don't take into account a downriver swim, that was my fastest open water swim in an Ironman, which I think was indicative of I focused on the swim. Had a good bike time. On the run, kind of suffered from GI distress. Second loop out, stomach was just bloated, sour stomach, didn't feel good. Wasn't really cramping up per se, so the body was kind of willing, but the gut, once I started jogging, it just didn't want to cooperate, and didn't get sick or anything, but it was not very comfortable, and my time showed that. 2018 Chattanooga, there was no swim. It was a little bit warm. The bike was kind of the slowest behind Ironman Texas, and Ironman Texas, keep in mind, was in May of that year. So you're doing all your training indoors, and all I had was a Bluetooth trainer and no real solid idea of what I was doing as far as working out. So that was just kind of a limp it together and then suffer on the run. 2018 Chattanooga, it was a little bit warm. I just don't think I was prepared on the bike, and I had GI distress on the run. The stomach was bloated and a little bit of probably dehydration too, and it just wasn't a very comfortable experience. Then I hit 2018 Florida a month later. It's wetsuit legal, and this is when the hurricane hit Panama City Beach, so they moved to Haines City, so it was kind of a lake/pond, wetsuit legal. So 113 still isn't bad, open water with wetsuit. 603 for the bike. It wasn't, say, as flat as a normal course for Ironman Florida, but still wasn't that overly challenging. But then another GI distress, and this one I got sick. I think second loop of the run, the third loop was just a kind of a walk, meander, jog. It was miserable on the run, unfortunately. And this year, 2019 Chattanooga, 95 degrees. It was hot, hotter than hell to hell. The swim, I don't think there was much of a strong current as there was. The bike is unfortunately behind, well, Texas and Lake Tahoe was one of the slowest bikes I'd had. Same course as the years before. And then on the run, I was severely dehydrated. The body was willing. I did have a few cramps kind of the last 2 or 3 miles going into the finish, but my fluids were off. I don't think I drank enough. And with 95 degrees, I mean, it's really going to be tough. And I was a little bit lightheaded, a little fuzzy, and finally found kind of a good combination of water and Red Bull to kind of keep me going to the finish line. But my goal is to be better than this. I think I can hit 113 and 110 in open water with wetsuit. With the bike course in Tulsa, it's going to be about, 5,100 feet of climbing. So it's going to be comparable to Chattanooga, and I'm dedicating my efforts to hopefully match, 2014 was 6 hours, so at least 6 hours or less. I think it's possible to do a little bit less, just depending, and get that training in. And then the run, at least better my 432 at Chattanooga. It's going to be flat. So there's an opportunity that you can get some good times out there. And it's in May. It shouldn't be super hot. The key is making sure I correct the mistakes of Ironman Texas 2014 when I'm training indoors, because there's going to be a lot of training indoors. It was like 9 degrees on Monday here. It snowed 2 times already this year, and it's November 14th, so I can only imagine what January and February are going to be like around here. There's going to be the bulk of the big training going on during the winter months when it's cold, when you really don't want to mess with going outside. In the spring, it's rainy here, there's storms. It's not exactly safe to be riding outside with the weather. So I just wanted to go back, have this on record as saying this is what I've done in the past. And looking in retrospect and looking at the training volume that I did, and you could definitely tell looking in Garmin Connect, the less and less miles I did for the bike riding. It's just with time, with kids, with careers, with busy lifestyles, it's just hard. Or what I recommend to everybody to do is get at least every other week deep tissue massage. So this is where I go. Serenity Health here in town. And 2 minutes late. We'll see if she gives me crap. Ooh, Black Friday sale. Doing video. It's not live.
Oh, I forgot.
Huh?
I forgot about the 2 o'clock.
Well, good. You didn't bust my balls about being 3 minutes late. It's all good.
I'm back.
So I'm recording my going up to Ironman Tulsa. So this is the room where the pain happens. If you want somebody to put an elbow in your back, Sunshine will be that person.